the first thing that we passed out was the ordinance from, I think at the last meeting, it was sent back to the planning commission to get a recommendation on paving parking lots. Because as it stands now, businesses have to pave their parking lots. So this is their recommendation as a draft ordinance that parking other than single and two-family residential shall be paved with asphalt, concrete, or permeable layers. However, gravel driveway and parking surfaces are permitted with the following stipulations. Building code required ADA parking spaces included, ADA loading areas and a minimum of 3 foot wide accessible walk to an ADA compliant entry point must be paved, concrete or similar smooth, hard surface. The entire drive and parking area are to be gravel covered with a base course of large stones, 1 inch minimum. Gravel that migrates into the ground over time is to be replaced with dirt, with no dirt or grassy driveway is to be replaced. Sorry, that probably needs to be, probably need to go through this with the grammar check. But no dirt or grassy, so basically it has to be gravel. If there's grass or dirt coming through, it needs to be the gravel needs to be replenished. And Darby, you may be able to speak better to this since you were at the meeting.
Yeah, I think maybe, we're talking about gravel. I think crush and run gravel would be better because it's got a little concrete mixed with it there. Over time, it's compact, more like concrete over time there.
Okay.
Now it's got loose gravel, it's just hard to get around there. But
Especially someone with special needs.
Anybody there, I mean, and also, we've realized that, it's not right for us to ask somebody to pay for parking lots. We don't even have our fire department, our police department paid over there.
It's getting there.
I know it's getting there now, but it wasn't fair to us to ask somebody to do something we're not doing.
We're a long way from doing that parking lot, aren't we?
Yeah.
That's what I thought, we're a long way from
Yeah.
getting that done. But the other one, what they're doing, that was approved back 3 years ago.
Yeah, and before I even came on board there.
I remember when it was done, but it just never happened.
The part here that says, let me see, part C, would that be where in places you see like a gravel down, but it has like patches of weeds and grass and stuff coming through? That's where it said like at that point that wouldn't be considered in compliance because of the lack of gravel?
Yes.
Okay. So how would this be, I know this would be enforced by Vince through building code and stuff like that. With the same penalties that we've passed in the past, does that still apply in this situation?
Up
That would
to
be,
$50 a
Right,
day.
but I'm saying that would be for the property owner, not the business itself.
Correct.
Whoever owns the property, not the actual people that are running the business.
Correct.
That's something the owner who would be responsible. I mean,
Okay.
the deal may be between the property owner and the leasee.
And we need to go this
Leasee,
route.
ultimately, we're gonna hold the property owner.
There's a lot of people ain't got the money right now to do anything.
That's why we're doing this, because right now they're not in compliance. This would put them in compliance.
If it's
With
gravel.
the gravel.
They don't
It's
have to
gravel.
pave it.
This would let them, like, this is keep saying that we understand that the cost for paving is expensive, so we're amending the ordinance to allow gravel with these stipulations. Ultimately, I'd say that like item C is basically aesthetic at that point. You just don't want the gravel to have patches of weeds and, yeah.
And if it washes out on the road, then they have to
clean
get it up.
I think that's a reasonable accommodation, understanding that the price for paving right now is so expensive, that this is still not like a detriment to small business. Because for some of those costs of quotes that we saw for the Mexican restaurant, for example, their name escapes me at the moment, but the cost to pave that parking lot would be astronomical, and that would basically, there's no more business there.
If they don't have it, they go out of business.
Right.
Well,
I think this is a reasonable expectations of a way to kind of compromise.
Yeah.
This is what we discussed in the
Yeah,
that
I think
meeting.
Yeah, and everybody in the meeting agreed on it, I mean, when was
Yes,
that one
we
person
did.
rejected?
Nobody objected.
Okay, so you're saying you still want the 2 layers, you want the 1 inch, and then you're saying you could use crush and run?
I think crush and run would be a good base there, and that way it's got concrete.
Yeah,
mixed
once you
with
have
it.
the good base, then the crush and run on top of it.
Well, I think crush and run needs to go there first. You don't think so?
It'll soak in too much. There's
Mhm.
too much
Yeah,
dust.
it
and
go down
you-
and when
You need
it
a
runs.
You
base.
gotta have that base to
Believe
keep
me,
that
after 40
elevated.
years of doing my driveway with,
Okay.
you need a base first to get the pressure on there, because it will just soak in. 'Cause like you said, eventually, when applied repeatedly, you can
Yeah.
almost like a concrete.
Yeah, they got
surface.
concrete mixed with it there,
But
and,
it takes that base for it
And if
to.
you put that other crush down first.
I guess it
then you put
depends
the
on
other
their lot, I
crush,
guess.
then it's gonna
It has two
keep
of
it sinking.
One's a
I guess it depends on what kind of lot they got. I mean, they have, you know, it depends on right there, what kind of dirt they got underneath it.
You could have shale or something that might, just hold up to that, but you got the normal clay around here. you
Yeah.
No, and it's all about crush.
Should that then read, in a finished course of finer gravel or crush and run?
I would say crush and run or finer, yeah. Yeah.
One thing I worry about is, like John talking about when it comes to heavy rain there, it washes it out there. So we have some kind of like a rock check, to keep it from,
It says here you're responsible for cleaning removal or.
Section, that's
You
on
have to
here.
clean it up.
Let's see what this one.
He says you're required to remove it, the owner would be.
Mhm.
Again, that's where it's important to have that base and then the crush and run on top of it. Thank goodness we don't have too many really tilted lots in the business district at least,
I think this is a good way to get them in compliance without forcing undue burden on said businesses.
Mhm.
And set owners.
And yes, business owners.
So that's what's gonna go, and I'll go back through this with Alan, and we'll make the corrections and update and make sure it's,
Yeah.
all that, so,
The last sentence has a, I want to update that
yeah,
too.
we'll go through it. Just a
Sorry,
draft.
it's on the wrong CCP.
Um,
Or, I don't know.
Okay, the next item I had is a resolution for a joint venture partnership between Mount Carmel Elementary School and the town. And I'll let John speak on that.
Do you want me to read the whole resolution or just want to hit the highlights? So basically, all this is saying is that there is no any type of formal agreement between the city and the school to have any type of working relationship together. And all this does is basically saying that the school works to better the children's lives of the community, does a good job at it. The city has the same goal, basically, that we're working in a partnership to create a framework of cooperation that aligns with the educational mission of Mount Carmel and the community development goals of Mount Carmel City, and create an inclusive environment that fosters positive relationships between students, families, school staff, and community members, ultimately committing to a sense of belonging and shared identity within the city. And it says that it would include things, examples of like Mount Carmel Library, or not included but not limited to programs, Mount Carmel Library, summer events, recreational activities, workshops, seminars, cultural events that reflect the diversity and interests of the Mount Carmel community. And basically that we're agreeing to a form of partnership. There's no exchange of money, expectations, things like that, just that we are formally recognized as working partners. That's the highlights.
Well, there is a problem going up through here on the Hammond Avenue, and I didn't realize what a problem it was until about 2 weeks ago, that starting at 2:30, there's a line in this road, and then it's a line in the other road all the way around the school. 2:30, people start.
Oh, when they was down here, they would start at 2:00 until they put a stop to it. It's like you can't run it until 2:30.
That's ultimately just gonna be the police that have to enforce that.
Yeah.
They put signs
They're
up,
gonna
but
have to,
they're gonna have to enforce it.
Because they're still, and I thought, how am I gonna get around here, because it's all the way up,
Mhm.
Hammond Avenue, and then all the way up, whatever that
When-
street is, and all the way around the school, already at 2:30.
When the resolution or the ordinance was changed to prohibit off-street parking, it got better for a while. Because I feel like it was probably being enforced a little bit more, or people were being warned about it coming. Then now it's kind of slowly been able to creep back up. to where that line's starting to become an issue again.
When I know when Trey was there, of course, he's 30-some years old now, they didn't come up this road. They had to come up the road and then turn in and then not block the road for them to go back out and go back down that way.
I mean, I think it'd be a good idea to have our cruiser just set up there. I mean, most communities have a crossing guard or something like that, at least for a while there. We're gonna have usually we got more cops that time of day than any time of day at all. At least one of them can go up there for 30 minutes.
But it's not solving the problem on Hammond Avenue
What I'm saying,
because there's so much traffic anyway on Hammond Avenue.
Yeah.
That it should probably turn around and go back coming in this way down, and I don't know what that street is in front of it, yeah. And then they pick up their child and then they go on out.
we need to just kind of wait 30 more minutes then come. But
So, but I mean, you know, even when they stop, it takes a while for the child to get in the car and then for them to pull out again, so it stays. I couldn't believe how much it was out in the road here going.
It used to be you able to park at that church area, but they quit letting them park there at the church area because someone ran into their heat pump.
Oh,
And they stopped that.
don't blame them.
But I mean, really the smartest way to do it is start coming back up this way and go in, and you cannot block you go around the school and you cannot block that. You have to stop right there and let people out and go back down the road.
Did we discuss this some time ago?
Yeah.
The police would be over there doing that? Well, that's what.
When they get a warning or a ticket, something like that, that'll slow them down. I mean,
Well, wait a minute. The police supposed to be over there.
I mean, you can't park on the road and
They
block the
went
road
out
up.
there last
I mean,
week, I didn't know they were still doing it, I kinda thought it was taken care of.
No, it was that way yesterday and today.
They've been lined up on Hammond Avenue. You can't get through there.
Hammond Avenue, you can't go up.
20 years or 30, didn't say no problem.
I think somebody
But
needs
it
to go
wasn't
over
as
there
bad
about
for
2
them
o'clock
to
and
come
sit
up
there and.
this way and keep
They
the
can
child
make it
and
work.
go back out that way.
Well, we don't work.
Plus the school might change the traffic
I
pattern.
know they
So
got.
they could
Yeah,
take
one
some
more
money
thing
to
on
go
Cherry Street,
to
that
to where
line
we-
up there.
And that way it
Could.
could see more.
That's
an
also
idea.
in school. That's changing.
They had to go in one direction than out another.
That's
People to do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
You're not out there
they
every day.
come
They're
down
going
Cherry
in
Street.
this way, they're coming
From the
in
west
that way,
end, and they'll sit
they
right there,
come
right
up
next where you
around
turn
school.
in.
Yeah.
Because you got a computer in gear there, when you get there, you got to know what you need to do there.
2:30,
Really bad.
get them all out. If
If like a certain time, they didn't show up there, instead of being there early.
And if I sit there and think.
Getting back to this resolution,
Ordinance, I guess.
one thing that's important to point out here
Yeah, we
is
don't
I
need
think
to.
that's,
One's
it's
come
something
back,
that's encouraged by
one's come
TCA
back.
code, and that's TCA code 29245, authorize school districts and cities to organize and promote community recreation programs and activities to promote the health and general welfare of the community. So this is something under TCA code encourages schools and communities to form these partnerships, and that way, like I said, there's no exchange of money, funds, or anything like that. It's just a formal agreement that we're working for the betterment of the children.
I don't understand what time we get there on Facebook, there's somebody looking for a place to live in, they see how to get to school. They went off their work, so they,
I mean, that's in section 3 of it.
we were talking about that, we gotta take both of us.
Pretty much that.
You did. The other thing we.
Can I add one
Oh,
thing?
sorry,
real
go
quick?
ahead, yes.
But we have, basically with this, all of it is leading towards the board to pass it. Superintendent of schools already reviewed it and said that he was ready to sign it that day. So as soon as we pass it, they're ready to sign it and basically make that a formal partnership. That's all I have.
That's okay, that's okay. Okay. No, sorry.
Has everyone had a chance to look over the EMS draft lease that was passed out at the last board meeting?
Yes.
Yes. Does anyone have any additions, subtractions?
I don't have it in front of me, but is there a line in it that basically says that if the EMS was to be dissolved, that this would dissolve this lease? There's that basic language in.
Basically, yeah.
Yes.
it's like, I forget exactly, but there's a way out of it, we had allowed for that contingency. The only thing I will make an additional change to is that, the chief would like the ability, if necessary, to use one of the two bays. So I'm gonna put that into the lease, that that's an option the town reserves.
Okay.
But other than that, yeah, there was a, I don't remember the exact word.
Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, just something that because of the ongoing issues, you know,
Yeah.
it's, you know, if potentially that organization itself falls, I just don't want that lease to roll over to the next organization without us having the right, reserving the right to look at it again.
I will make sure, but I'm almost positive that was.
Okay, I'm sure, oh yeah, that's.
What are you talking about, the chief? Chief of police gonna use 2 bays?
No, the fire chief.
What are they gonna put in there?
Well, I don't know, they're not gonna put anything there now, but they just want the option in the future if they need to put something in. Because my understanding, the EMS only uses one of the bays, and so there's one there that would be available, he's just asking if that be an option, if he, things in the future should develop, if they need someplace to store it or whatever, they would ask to use one of the 2 bays.
Well, I go down through there quite a bit, and I see 2 EMS vehicles sitting there.
Okay, so I'm not.
So are they going down to one station?
Again, I don't know, I'll be glad to talk to them. And what we're doing to this point, you have the drafts that are now, and now I get that down to the other side, and they can tell me what they feel about it.
Okay.
But we wanted to make sure we were all kind of in the same ballpark here.
Okey-dokey.
That will go on the agenda. And then we need to look at, if possible, moving October and November, board meeting dates.
October
Yes.
or November and December?
October and November. December should be fine. October, I have to do some training on that day, so I won't be able to be there. And I thought if we moved it back 1 week for October and November, we could still,
Have it on the 12th?
on
5th and 19th.
the 12th, yes, the
Move it back,
12th.
maybe the 12th.
Well, I can't do it, because I'm in the Senior Olympics.
In October,
Mm-hmm.
on what day?
On that Thursday, that we usually, if you move it back, we have it,
The first Thursday?
we have
We
it, no, we have
meet on the
it,
second.
we have it in a Tuesdays and Thursdays on.
Or if you can't make it, we got the device there.
Huh?
If you can't make it, the device there can run it.
Well, I need to make it though.
What day are we talking here? The ninth-
Yeah,
moving the
which day
19th?
can you not make it?
I need a calendar in front of me.
Okay.
Let's see. And I don't have my board.
Exactly, we can still vote on it. It doesn't matter, we can vote on it. It's basically if we're gonna pick between who you want
I think you
here.
did a really good job when you ran it last night.
No, I mean, between,
I got an idea. We
Okay.
can use Gary White. We can get that big flag up and let him stand up there.
Now, you're moving it back, can you move it back to the 25th?
Okay, so it's on the 26th, if we move it back to the 19th, that Thursday,
Well, can we
sorry.
not just maybe have it on the 18th right there?
It'd be changing the day of it.
It don't matter, I mean, as long as we get to, cause I'm through the week doing that except Wednesdays.
Does anyone have a problem with doing it on the 18th?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's on Wednesday.
I can't do it.
On the 18th?
No.
Well, what about the week after that?
I'm just kidding.
Does anybody wanna throw out another date? We have, if we keep the workshop the 12th, or, I don't know.
Can we do it on the 17th on a Tuesday?
No, I'm doing Olympics.
You said
And we
19th.
have to
you
go
said.
to Johnson City and we have to go to,
You said you couldn't do it on 19th, or I was talking about the 17th.
no,
You
I'm
won't
saying
make your
that week
week.
is the,
19th would work for
we
me.
have to go to Johnson City and we have to go to Jonesboro.
So let's look at November. since we're kind of not, November's just for Thanksgiving, right?
Right.
Yeah,
That's
it's
one
on
formality.
Thanksgiving.
We always move that one every year, so we're just moving that, are we moving both the workshop and the meeting, or just the meeting?
Workshop.
You do the workshop on the workshop day and then
What day, Pat, what day?
Yeah, we moved it up to
you
16th?
wanna do it on?
Wednesdays.
Wednesday, what's the date?
November 16th for the
I'm
VMA.
busy the whole.
November 16th, we'll get it all.
I didn't know this was coming up or else.
You got your phone with you?
Oh, yeah, cause Thanksgiving, yeah, we'll just be limited to that day.
So we're just gonna do back-to-back weeks.
So the
Monday,
only thing we got-
Monday and Tuesday and Thursday.
What
The only
days?
thing we got to worry about
Nine, being workshop, and 16 being
For
the
the
meeting.
VMA.
need to do back.
And for the workshop?
October's
Same,
nice.
the 9th.
No, we just move back a week.
More like.
Nothing.
Does our,
October.
Just,
does our.
What day are y'all
charter
talking
say that
about
we
for,
have Thursdays?
No,
No.
I don't think so.
Usually
does
we
it?
have.
Sure what?
The charter doesn't stipulate
For
what
the
day.
planning, and the next week we
so
usually
it
have.
does say that you have to have, it says you have to have one every 30 days.
You know, there's always a ability to change it.
So like.
We
you couldn't-
usually do
you
it
couldn't
on
put it back
Tuesday.
another week, because then you're in the next month, and the board
Right.
didn't have 30 days, that's in like a.
Well, y'all.
Now, we've been
need
doing it, wait a minute, we've been doing it on Thursday as our regular meeting on that Thursday.
Mhm.
And then we then go the next Thursday instead of the 2 weeks. That's what we've been doing.
Well, on November, can we just move it to the 16th?
Yeah, that's the way we've always
That's what
done
we're
it.
talking about,
Okay.
November.
But we haven't squared away October yet.
Mm-mm.
So we're gonna do the meeting November 16th?
Yes.
9th and the 16th.
The workshop will be
The
9th.
workshop and the 16th will be May.
The BMA's for 16th.
Yes,
Yeah.
and the workshop is the 9th of November.
You sure about that?
October workshop, same thing.
Okay.
But November, BMA meeting, we're between the 19th, 17th, 20th, 19th, back week.
The end of October is, I don't have any problems.
That's the BMA meeting, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So you just need to change the date on the workshop.
Well, our city manager can't be here.
I mean, we could do it on the
Yeah,
24th.
we just
Do you
wanna-
wanna
What's that?
do it on the Tuesday
Yeah,
instead of the
26th,
Thursday?
we can do it on 19th of the mayor, we can do it on.
Of Oc-
on-
of
We don't have a
What's
ballot.
the problem
Or the
with,
VMA
what's the
meeting.
problem with the Wednesday,
The problem was Teresa doing it.
with the last Wednesday?
I can't be there 25 or 26. So if we do it the 24th, that would be fine. Or
What's on a Monday?
that's
The Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Commission meeting.
Is anyone have a problem with doing it October the 24th?
Yes.
Okay.
Is that what, October's 24th? Is that
It's a
Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Oh, that's 25th.
That's a Wednesday, but I
Yeah.
can't do that.
So what about when you get back?
It will be the next week and we'll
We'll be in the month.
be in the new month.
I mean, that's what I'm gonna, that's theirs.
Well, not.
What about the Wednesday before that?
October the 18th, anyone?
You can't do it on October
I have
18th?
Thursdays off for our BMA meetings. I'm not missing work for it, I can't afford it. This doesn't pay well enough.
If all you people retire, you won't have all these.
I'm counting down the days.
He's too young to retire.
All right.
Well, we could put down 2 days and just vote on it at the meeting.
Okay.
You got it ironed out yet?
Just put down the 18th and put down the 19th, and then we can vote on it at the
Okay.
meeting.
18th and 19th.
18th and what?
19th.
That's the two
That's
days that you
October.
should.
Of October.
Mhm.
18th and 19th. Now,
Wait a minute, you make sure you don't have court going on that day.
Yeah.
Well, if we do, we don't have to be in here, we can go upstairs. That's what we done the upstairs for.
What's the workshop in November?
The workshop is not changing, it's just the board meeting, so it will be November the 16th, tentatively. For the vote to be on.
Okay, I might be up in Ohio on them dates anyway, who knows? And then we'll get up there on the White House. Just money, one on
Has anybody got anything else that they want to add?
Yes. I would like to request that we look for another committee member for the outreach to replace Stephen, because he's been to like 2 meetings this year, came to no
And he
events.
he told me that he wasn't been called.
He's been on every email,
He
so
hasn't
he's a
been to a single
liar,
event,
so
so.
he's been made very aware of events that's
Well,
going
I'll
on.
find somebody then. And
So, but they need to be somebody that's engaging, that's gonna show to the meetings
We
and
got-
come to the events.
Yeah.
Well, I
and
will
help
call
with the
him and
events.
tell him what the situation is
It
and.
doesn't matter, the bylaws state that he can't miss more than 3 meetings, and he's already done that. So, and he's not attended any city events, so,
Okay.
We need somebody to actually help, that's it. Like,
right, not just be
Keep
there
another-
for their own person. He knew about the water event and chose not to go because we didn't do our softball event.
That's probably right there.
So, that's, I'll call him and tell him we have to replace him because he's missed 3.
He's missed more than 3. And no city event has he come to this year.
Okay. I'll try to, I got some people on the list.
We also need to find another one planning commission member still, and I
Is that the
believe-
out of zone one?
Yes, and it's hard to find because you know
What's the
what?
boundary? Like where, how far out?
They just have to be outside of the city limits.
I can show you on the map, there's an urbanized area map out there.
And they don't wanna come because they do not wanna go get into, Mount Carmel's politics, that's what I.
Is that in our bylaws, they have to have somebody like that?
Yeah, it's in the laws.
It's in the law.
They're not, not the
Okay.
bylaws, but the laws
Okay.
period. But it's, I mean, I've asked some good people and I told, he said no. And another thing,
We definitely have a good recommendation to submit for the outreach one.
And I want to see if we can do away with the signing up for dogs, license and stuff. Nobody does that anymore. You know, you got a dog and you got to sign it up in town here.
Talk about the rabies thing.
do I have one? Shane? What?
If you got a dog or a dog or a cat in Mount Carmel, you got to bring it to get a permit for it. To have. It's one time deal. But nobody never does it anymore. I just think we need to just get rid of it. Since nobody's doing it.
Do you, like, are you just want to amend it to remove the ordinance or like change it to reword it? How are you wanting to get rid of it?
Well, nobody ever got a letter probably saying that,
Well, most
they
people,
have to register their pets.
This was done in the 90s.
most people nowadays got chips in their dogs. They, you know, it was meant for if your dog got lost, if they had a number on the tire and they would bring the dog to their house. But nowadays, everybody got a chip in their dogs and they just scan it. If somebody's got a lot of dogs and stuff, it can be expensive for cats.
Well, I got a chip in my dog,
That's what I'm saying. Most people have chips in there. And they got a scanner, they just scan it.
but my dog is also a service dog.
The part of this was to supposedly recover funds for the cost of
Animal control.
which we no longer have.
Yeah, I just think
And I would like to discuss what happened at the gas company. We had a stray cat coming, we've had him for 7 years. He was well taken care of, fed twice a day and taken to the vet for his shots. Well, some dogs got loose and attacked him savagely and he had to be put to sleep. If anybody wants to see the pictures, I haven't had the guts to look at it.
Did they know the dog, like where the dogs?
Well, one of the ladies drove around and she thinks she knows where one of them's at. It's a husky. And I didn't know that huskies had a nature to where they would attack and kill smaller animals, but I found out that somebody had a husky in their neighborhood kill 2 of their cats. It had got loose and killed 2 of their cats. But luckily, some people drove by when the dogs were attacking Bobby Cat and stopped them, and they took him to the emergency vet. And of course, the animal wasn't theirs, and they don't see an animal unless you have money up front. You actually have to sign a form stating that you're going to be responsible for paying the bill. And something called tiny paws or small paws, they agreed to help forward the money to the immediate care. Of course, Kathy and I split the cost of it after we found out that it was Bobby Cat. People posted it on Facebook and called us. We've had so many of our customers, they look for him. They know he's there. He would stay at the front door. But without an animal control person, this is what we're subject to now.
Well, I just had an incident yesterday. I let mine out to use the bathroom. And there were 2 big dogs down the street, and my neighbor said he thought that the tree hit the fence and they got out. But it's their responsibility to fix that. That's when 2 or 3, who knows. And these dogs are big dogs, and somebody said they'd bite if they, and so I had to run and get my dog. And I had this little bad leg right here from surgery and stuff, so, and I hated to call the animal control because she lives by herself.
So the man that we have no animal control, they thought that we did, but we don't. We have no animal control.
We have no animal control.
No, he picks up dead animals, he doesn't do anything.
Amen, sister. I'm finally glad somebody can do it.
Oh, I can't watch something like that.
What else do you show check?
If he do his job,
It wouldn't be,
it wouldn't be,
but he don't do it.
no.
I see him sitting down in the parking lot quite a bit.
Our public works, when they're out roaming the streets and doing what they do, which I'm proud of them, no complaints from me from that. But if they see a dead animal, I'm sure they could take a shovel and pick it up.
They usually do get it,
I would
they get
think
them up.
she'll pick it up. and we'll
If
take
that
it
was
back
the
on
case,
the
animal
line.
control would be picking up 356 dead animals a month. Did you not see the last report 2 months ago before he went on sick leave and came back? He picks up more dead animals than he does anything else. I even sit here and broke that stuff down for you, of how much it's costing for us, paying him to pick up dead animals.
How much it costs us?
$40-some an hour to pick up a dead animal.
What do we pay him annually?
He's only part-time.
Is he?
So it's only like 4 hours a day.
We don't have anywhere to take the animals.
But does he, just work when he gets a call?
Yes, and he picks up strays and, takes them to the Humane Society.
He has to go all the way to Rogersville, doesn't
I thought they was.
he? Well, then when they find that animal, of course, if it's not dead, they get a fine, right?
They don't know who it's an animal running at large, so they don't know who the owner is. When he picks them up, he just picks them up and takes them down
They
there.
don't have tag or nothing.
No, if they did, he would probably just return it. I'm assuming. I'm speaking and I have very little to do with him. He's managed by the police chief, so, but I do know he picks up animals and takes them to the Humane Society.
And that was in the contract, wasn't it?
We've got an agreement with the Humane Society, yeah, we pay them.
Maybe I should take that over and be his boss.
I mean, I could be. I am in the chain of command, but he reports directly to the police chief.
The last, before, how am I supposed to put this? We're getting our codes and stuff updated in our books.
Yes,
There's been animal laws passed since the last one has
yes,
been printed.
yes.
Can you gather those up and provide that to us so we know what the current ordinances are?
Yes, I believe what has passed, pertinent to animal control would be the tethering. Right?
That's
Well,
Tethering ordinance?
There's actually two.
the state passing, you're talking about the state passing, it, right?
No, the one that's we passed.
Oh, okay, I thought you, the state passed the tether, that's what you're talking about, right?
I
The
thought the
state passing?
town passed the tethering.
Did the state not pass the tether ordinance too?
They did, and then we followed suit. But the one that I'm missing is what Darby's talking about. Because according to the book that I have, it's per year, and it's like $5 for unspayed,
Yeah,
$2.50
and
for
yours was a
spayed.
what
One-time
was
deal.
passed was a $1, one-time $10.
$10.
And
Right.
what he's proposing is to just eliminate it altogether, registering animals at City Hall.
What was last year's revenue off that? $10?
I think I'm the last one did it.
Yeah, it's less than 50.
Less than 50.
Mhm.
So I mean, at that point,
Yeah, it's pointless.
I don't, yeah.
Well, it needs to be enforced, and animal control needs to do its job. Animal control needs to keep record of who's got animals and keep up with.
So you're gonna go and knock on every
I will
citizen's door and ask
say-
them for their pet registry?
I will say that that's never been the
That's-
case.
that sounds-
It's always been
That
handled
sounds
at City
exactly.
Hall. The
That's exactly what
records
people
of
would say, call
registering
online too.
animals has always been handled here.
Show
It's
your
never
papers
been
for your
handled by
dog.
animal control.
It needs to be looked over.
This man was called, he was ugly, the man that we, yeah.
When somebody comes
Doesn't
to,
kill chickens.
when somebody comes to
Actually,
City
y'all spent a
Hall
lot of money in the basic.
and pays their fee,
We split the cost.
do y'all remind them a
Like
year later
$350
that they need to come renew that? That would be the job of.
But they did try to.
But
split us where they
Didn't we
had-
eliminate that?
Well, that's why I need to know.
Y'all fed that camp about the same
Okay,
rate
it's
you're
gonna, that one was eliminated,
that's what
what he's proposing is that we just do it, eliminate it altogether. So then we would not even take the $10 to register an animal, because people are not doing it anyway.
We need to keep that and enforce that.
So then that's opposite.
And that's what animal control
That
is
is,
to
I
its job.
that is the opposite
But
of
no
what
animal
Darby
control,
was
no
saying.
animal, nothing.
Yeah.
I disagree
I agree
with
with
you,
that.
Mayor. We provide this, people who are kind-hearted enough to take care of innocent animals.
I'm not saying doing away with animal control. I say
We
keep
did
the
already
10.
do that.
We have not.
Basically. Yeah, we did.
We keep the $10 for them, and they need to register their animals, and animal control needs to enforce it.
How are you gonna enforce it?
Hey,
And
y'all-
we-
y'all-
You never gonna go to their
What?
door?
Knocking everybody's
Well,
door.
one person speak please at a time. I'm here and here and here, but I'm not hearing nothing. Teresa, finish, then, after you're
There
finished,
is no-
Mindy.
when we had Sherry here, we had animal control. You could call her at any time. She was there to assist you in any way she could. Now we basically have supposedly somebody who scoops up dead people, and that's it. We've all, for people who have animals, we dealt with Sherry Pat. She was excellent at what she did.
Well, she wasn't excellent when we tell her to do something, she'd go pick up one, and then the police had to come and pick it up because she was afraid to get bit by a dog or whatever. And that was in my neighborhood right there.
There was more to that little story than what you know. I can find out.
Well, it was in my yard, I know, I was right there and.
No, I'm talking about her not picking up an animal that would bite.
Well, I was there and she called the police and the police chief came out.
Let's just try not to speak of individual
Like someone right
employees
here.
when they're not here.
Yeah, it's,
That's,
that's.
I don't, we
I got
can,
my hearing aids on, I still can't hear it.
you're elected, right?
No, I mean, you got one end down there talking, you got him talking, you got her talking, and I ain't young, I can't comprehend all that fast moving.
But like I said, the reason I want to get rid of it, like you said, that money was used to support the animals then, but we don't even have an animal shelter no more.
Didn't you vote to take it down?
The animal shelter, the building,
Yeah,
yeah, that's ready to fall down.
it was,
She
but
was
it is
on
now.
call. She was on call.
No, she wasn't either.
But I don't know how you can find out who's got a tag and who don't. I don't know how you would enforce that.
It would be enforced like all the other codes we have that are enforced. It would be enforced when somebody called because somebody's dog's out running at large doing this, and they catch them, then they would be responsible for finding out whose it is, and that's when it gets enforced. We wouldn't be able to proactively tell whose dogs are registered. The budget that it would take to pay the personnel to do that would be
That
astronomical.
just smacks of being like living in Nazi
Exactly.
Germany or
I
something.
completely agree with you. Okay, I agree with you. So it's like, it would be enforced the same way that all the other codes are enforced. It would be reactionary, not proactively.
Well, let me make this statement. Kathy and I paid the vet bills for Bobby Cat's surgery and to be put to sleep. Kathy says, I do not want these people to receive a fine because the dogs just did what was normal for their behavior. She went and cased out the area where they thought the dog had come from, and these people had done all they could do. She said the fence was high, but evidently some animals can
Oh, yeah.
jump really high.
That's what
And
they
I've seen a
said.
dog crawl up the darn
Especially a
fence
husky-
and out.
especially a
I
husky
believe it
here.
looked like a monkey doing
A
that.
husky can't get out of anything.
Well, and she said the people it was obvious they were not well off. You know, that it would financially be hard on them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is neither here nor there to us. I mean, it's just a sore point for those of us in the community who take care of animals. It's just a sore point.
Next,
And you did find out too that the fence, or you don't have to have a fence around your whole house now. You know, we talked about what Hunter told us, and you clarified that, you know, you don't have to have you can keep your animals in your own yard, right?
As long as they're trained and there's not, you know, they're not running at large. I would say running at large is, you know, neglect in a way, because you're not out there with them.
Okay.
You're just opening the door and out they go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna touch base with you on that. You know, there's 4 German shepherds right across the street from me. And my neighbor just put a fence up. And they're almost big enough where they can leap over that fence.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you something. I know you're a dog lover. If that dog was aggressive and come in my yard, they're gonna be picking up a dead dog.
Or you have every right to.
Because we need something in the works. They have to be fenced in. Because those dogs will attack a kid.
My great grannies used to be able to almost jump over our fence, but they never did.
It won't be no big deal if they come over on me.
It's all in the training. I mean, I have a 66-pound dog and I let her out, but I'm out
Yeah,
there.
it's where you train a dog there. It's the big thing. You keep one chained up all the time or just pinned up, he'll just, you know, you can't do nothing with him.
everywhere.
You got to give attention to a dog. You got to be there with them. If you don't, they're just gonna get bored and gonna try to get out, get into
Well,
something.
you know, when you got the dogs, you take them bound, put them into your yard. It's your
Let's move on
responsibility.
about something.
Yes.
I've got a suggestion, and this is not for dogs, of course. I had a call yesterday, the day before, about what time was the fall festival. And, I said, well, I'm not really sure, because I don't have the papers in front of me, but of course, in my desk. And do you all get to use that, billboard out there to put fall festival on it?
You would think we would have that, but I don't think.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
But
sure.
Alan Floyd
Alan-
put it out
Alan
there
did put it
because
out
he's
for
still
football.
bitter.
Well, anyway,
We should.
it needs to be up. I told him, I
Absolutely.
said, about 2 weeks before the thing is, and I said, well, I'll check with that, because it does need to be on the billboard.
It does.
At
And
least
it's
on
on
the other
Facebook,
side, huh?
It's on Facebook too. Now, I want it on this side, so, because people park on that
That's what you're
side.
right.
You can't ever see what's on that side.
Yeah, we need, for the fall festival, it needs to be on. what's the left
Coming up
hand?
this way.
What
Right, it's,
October
Yes,
7th.
this side right
October
here,
7th.
on this side, not this side.
I don't recall anybody ever requested before, but, what's his name, Alan Floyd, he puts that stuff up there, and he'll only put up what she authorizes,
Tennessee football
Yeah.
schedule.
and he does a good job at it.
Well, we
I think
need
he
to
does a
just
good
put the fall
job.
festival up. 2
Yes,
weeks before.
we do need, or not just fall festival, like when y'all have your little gun show up there, or what did you call it?
Let's,
Water.
not gun show.
Okay, but anyway, when you have that up there, it needs to be up 2 weeks before.
Yes.
That's advertisement, I mean, and people will see that, and sometimes they may, you know, if it's not up there, they won't see it, they don't know what's going on.
Yes.
Cause not everybody has a computer, not everybody has a computer, not everybody has a phone.
Unless you can.
It's the
I mean,
topic.
you get the older people, they don't have the phone, they
I
don't
didn't
see
say
that.
it was, Apple
Probably 3 weeks
Festival.
in advance.
Yeah.
So it needs to
Oh, that's way
bring
more.
that, we need to bring that up in the meeting, and
No, we
then,
just, they want to have him do that. It's gonna be changing it soon, so,
who?
Alan.
Oh, I thought he wasn't doing that.
No, it's still Alan.
Good. Well,
Good.
We just need to,
gives him something to do.
I'll give him a call, and if we can get it out tomorrow or Monday, that'll be 3 weeks in advance.
Maybe share it now on Facebook.
maybe,
But no, it's on all your events, all the events.
Yes.
It does.
They have,
another resource too that I've got, made up for the city, just like, I've got the link to it, I'm gonna put it on the city's Facebook page, but I've got a link tree now where every single city resource can be found in one place, from the city's Facebook page to like a specific new to Mount Carmel, where you can sign up for all your utilities, get registered to vote, the county's page, the school's page, the school system page. It's just one place. Really, I made it more for city halls so that they don't have to go digging for where to send people. But it's just something that kind of gives us a place to send for everybody to find any bit of information that's going on.
But not everybody has a computer.
I understand that.
But we do need the website out there on that billboard all the time. If you want to know something, it needs to be right out there on that billboard. That's why we need a new billboard.
I agree.
You
Digital.
got the money for it?
Well, we
We
can
checked
find
that
it.
out
I mean, shoot, you find money to do
It's
one
only
of the
gonna be
things.
about 25,000.
Well, so you find money to do everything else.
I don't care, I don't think we need one, I think the one we got worked just fine. Got 2 sides to it.
I think we need a lamp to ring out there.
We need it higher and we need it scrolling all the time. That way you know what
Just
things
show
are
up
going on.
meetings,
I've fought for that for 4 years now.
You're gonna get your blood pressure up here in a minute.
I don't wanna get my blood pressure up. I've got good blood pressure. That's why I'm in the Olympics.
You don't deal with this crew every day though.
Good.
Anything else?
Anybody else?
But I appreciate it.
If y'all,
I mean,
if y'all
because
have
it is,
vendors, anybody does crafts, any vendors, anything like that, we're taking sign-ups until, what was the day?
where's the lights?
October 1st.
did an Adrian somebody, I can't remember her, call you all, any of you all. She lives here in Mount Carmel, wanted to put up a booth, and I said to call here, one of y'all's numbers.
Yeah, I'm sure, we've got over 30 people signed up.
Andrea or something, and I don't know what she.
Yeah.
Oh, Andrea Isabella?
Yes.
Yes.
I did see
Oh,
that.
what's her last name?
Isabella.
I didn't see that name.
No, she's not Isabel. It's Adrian,
Oh, Adrian, I think it's Andrea.
I think she went to, graduated with Robin and,
What do you want to talk
she
about?
went, graduated with Robin, and she lives down
Okay, Jim has
off
some
of
stuff.
Montgomery.
Okay, Jim,
Mayor, could I, before you leave, could I address the
Yes,
board?
thank you.
Thank you. I'm Gareth White, 421 Old Hickory Circle. If you don't know me, I think you all do. Our church is being the host for the honor flight for this quarter of the year, it happens September the 22nd through the 24th. I say that because, and also our church is Crossroads Methodist, right behind Burger King. It's not in the city, but it is in the county. And we would like, if it's possible, to bring your fire truck and big flag and put it in our parking lot when they do that. They'll leave at 8:30 on Friday the 22nd. They'll come back at 5 o'clock on Sunday the 24th. And what this is, it's veterans that, actually it's there's 20 of them going. 7 of them are Korea War veterans. The rest are Vietnam veterans. So, and their priority is World War II, Korea veteran, Vietnam, and then other veterans. So we want to have a real big showing for the veterans, especially as they come back in.
I think that's a good idea.
And if that's possible, we would need it, if it's on Friday, if you can make it Friday, we need it there around 7 o'clock Friday morning. They leave on their trip at 8:30, so they could leave, they could come back right after that. On Sunday, they come in at 5 o'clock, so if they could be there an hour before that and stay an hour after, that'd be great.
I think that's a good idea.
That's a
I
wonderful
don't know where you
idea.
get that
And the
big
flyers in
flag
the
or not.
door.
Sir?
I don't know where you get that big flag or not, cause that truck you sell out there is sold.
But we use the ladder truck there, we take trucks to, schools all the time.
Yeah,
Okay.
we could partner with somebody and find a.
But we've got a good spot to put it in, right off Netherland Road. And I think it'd be a good publicity for Mount Carmel.
Yeah.
It would be.
You'd see the truck and see the sign on the truck and see the flag.
And I'm all about veterans because those
And,
9 died of complications from
understand.
Vietnam and
I
then
understand. But if
first
you
Gulf.
would you head that up then? What do you need from us to get it done?
You have any World War I vets this area anymore? There's some out there. They're still living.
Mr. White, if we may, can we post that flyer on the city's Facebook page?
Yes, you could. I think.
I got it, I've already put
got
it on
one.
my
Here's
personal
another
page, but, and then there's one hanging in the doorway that,
Well,
Yeah,
I'll
we can
scan,
do it
I'll
on-
scan that and just post that on the city's
Oh,
page.
that'd be great.
Advertise
That's
it.
That'd be
great.
excellent.
That's
And we really want people there when they come back.
Yeah.
Because
yeah. the
so
welcome-
many of them, especially Vietnam vets, didn't get a real good homecoming.
Yeah.
they didn't, I can tell you
We'll,
that
we'll
right
post
now.
that on the city's page.
Thank you. That's all I've got. Thank you.
My
We
husband
post stuff
and I-
out there for the event stuff, we get over 6,000 people that come see it, so that, we'll get it out there for you.
In
Thank you.
fact, when the Vietnam War was going on, there were people protesting, and so
Yeah, I remember that.
it was awful to be a wife and hear that.
They spit in your face.
All right, Mr. Chairman, what do you have?
Okay, the flag that we had out here. The truck is gone. Now we gotta come up with something that we can hang this flag up there, cause I'm getting calls on so that why we don't have a flag back up. It only goes up for 2 holidays, July the 4th and Veterans Day, I think, in November. And that thing is 40 feet long, so I don't know where we're gonna put it.
How tall's the building?
That's what I was gonna say, how tall?
Yeah,
Trying to go
that's
from the,
kind of what we were thinking.
What's
We're
the,
still,
no,
as long as it doesn't touch the ground.
but what's the code for displaying on a building? Because I know there's a proper way to display it off a building, like that. would be
Depending on the
better.
way the street runs, so it would still face where your, Union faces the north.
And right here, we got a veteran right there.
Well, we got plenty of them, so.
And right
But there is, you can look at the flag code and it'll tell you the direction that the road is going is the way that the Union is supposed to face.
Right.
So like where it faces here, the road that it's on goes this way because we use Hammond Avenue as an excuse, so the Union always faces the north. So we just have to figure out, I guess it would go where the Union would face this way if hanging from the building instead of being flipped.
How would that do hanging from the building? Is it going to tear the flag to pieces? Because the problem with the flags on top of the building was when the
I
windows
don't know, the building's tall enough.
I don't know if it is either.
yeah, I'm not sure that the building is tall enough for one, without, like some extenders going up from the top, which we've got two, the existing flagpoles at the front that go up, that might be, I don't know if they could be relocated or not, but we're working on it.
One of the T-Dot
Boom
issues.
truck, I don't think a
with
boom, you could probably put an
With a
extra.
permanent pole,
With a couple.
T-Dot would have an issue with us putting a permanent pole on this side of the road, correct?
Yes,
But
yes.
if it was on our side of the
Get
road.
with the,
They don't, T-Dot doesn't
Yeah.
want anything
they're on the-
in where that fence is. They don't,
it was him and
Oh,
Taylor.
yeah.
They can't take it out, it's gonna have, because it's on the hard
Yeah,
drive.
sure.
It'd be above.
And I don't think they wanna take it out there and leave it out there,
No.
you know. But anyway, I'm sure she'll
Think about
probably
something today.
Yeah.
work with Jason.
yeah.
If we could find a 50-foot stainless steel
Jason who?
post, 50 foot,
Well, I thought
break
you
down,
started
I'd say
checking the-
3 foot.
But it's, you still wants to fly, I mean, it'll be hanging up, but.
The only thing is we'd have to
That
put
would be
things
the
on
fire
front
chief,
where you could take
And I
it
said,
and put the board
no.
down. We
Jason.
want to put them.
The fire chief.
That'd be wrong.
Get with the fire chief.
Jason, see what you can come up with.
Okay.
Get with the fire chief, Jim.
She's gonna take care of it.
Okay.
The next one I got is starting time for administration here. I think, I've been down here close to 5 o'clock, and people really don't have anything to do up to 5 o'clock, and I think we go from 4 to 4:30, or 8 to 4:30. What do you think?
I think that would be nice, just because we don't really have much to do in the afternoon, or at least we don't get a lot of foot traffic, so it's kind of looking at what, you know, how many hours a week do you want City Hall to be open? Because right now we're open for 45 hours a week. Is that sufficient to be open for just 40 hours?
I think 40 is fine. So we're at 40 hours, we'd be closing.
I'm thinking 40 hours a week.
Is that?
No, it's only gonna cut
It
2.5
still
hours.
provides a
We cut
30-minute
minutes.
lunch break.
If we cut 30 minutes, 5 times a day, that's 2.5.
Work, is that gonna affect their
Yeah.
pay?
No, of course, that's where it's still.
Because right now they're required to take a 1-hour lunch.
Some people take 30
So we would
minutes, they take
say,
an hour.
rather than requiring them to take a 1-hour lunch, they'd only be required to take a 30-minute lunch.
I had asked
I
if
like
they
her,
reduced their
it's
pay.
cool.
She's saying they're gonna take it out of an hour lunch, take it down to a half-hour lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would count for, okay, I was just.
So we're still
So
open,
we're still-
serving the public, but only until 4:30 instead of until 5.
Well, I only had 30 minutes. to
What about
school
their
when I was-
municipalities around us do? Most of them are closed, the county closes by 4:30, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I think that's standard hours. Because the people, I know a lot of argument that when people come and pay bills, stuff like that, I can say that more people who are actively working now are more likely to do it online.
Yes.
You
And we
just
do
have
have
a part-time over here now, don't you? Is that part-time?
We have, no,
Oh.
we have someone on light duty, and then we have 2 full-time people here right now. That's all we have.
Would that need to be a vote, or is that just an administrative change?
I don't think there's anything to require a vote. The board can certainly, you know, just, there's no ordinance as far as I'm aware of. Says what hours they can open, right?
Yeah, I would like, you know, I just don't want anyone to be against that.
So it's a vote.
So just put a limit of on.
Just put on the vote on this,
Okay.
Do a vote.
Okay.
So you have 2 part-times then, and a full-time, right? Not counting yourself.
It's myself, another full-time employee, and then we have an officer that is on light duty. That's all the administrative.
Oh, that's what I was asking, so.
Yeah.
Did you bring up
Because when you
woman,
said 2, I thought, surely you're counting yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
the woman who's over at the police department, she's still there?
She is,
Okay.
yeah,
I know you talked about maybe bringing her back over.
probably.
I think
That's
it'd be
probably
the
gonna
best.
happen.
I think that'd be the best too.
All right, what's your third item? You said you had 3.
Third
And
item,
she's full-time, isn't she?
we need to
I think so.
renew our pursuit policy. This one we have so.
Yes.
Absolutely
The
agree.
what, Jim?
The
Pursuit
pursuit.
policy,
Pursuit.
police pursuit.
Stop doing high-speed
Yeah.
chases that we don't have any business
Ain't
in.
no business driving.
Like you said, you've got a safety committee digging up, and you might wanna refer that to. You ever heard of the safety committee?
It is not active.
Oh, okay. They used to be.
Will we create one?
Well, no, no,
Well, I mean, it's
no,
still in
I just
existence,
thought
but
that-
there's not really anyone assigned to
I
it.
just think it'd be the best thing to do is let her draw up pursuit policy.
I agree with that.
I
Does the MTS have
What-
a pursuit?
That's what I would probably reach out to an MTAS consultant and see how strict we can get on a pursuit policy.
I think unless we're being asked for assistance, we shouldn't be taking part in it.
Because would it not be?
Because-
Sorry, I was gonna
No,
say.
because that's how it was explained to me, is that we don't enter unless we're asked for assistance. Is
Yeah.
that correct?
Yes.
I mean,
And that is, I believe, I'd have to look at the policy again, but I believe that that's how it is written in there.
But if we're pursuing out of town, if we have,
It's one of the different jurisdictions.
Unless it's our own initiated.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you're going out of town, let's say if you're coming east on 11, you're going out of town of Mount Carmel, and you're going into Sullivan County, you shouldn't be able to pursue it anymore unless you've got somebody on the other side that's going to engage with you.
Well, they do back us up when we need it.
We don't ever admit.
In court. And if an Office County person's up there, they'll back out me and that, because we don't have that much, we don't have the employees to, as far as the police station.
It's just too much risk out there, people get killed.
I thought that you couldn't do them anyway unless there was like like you can't, just because somebody speeds away from you. You
There's-
can't engage.
There's 3 criteria that have to be made, and what I'll do is get a copy of our current policy and send it to everyone to review, and then we can go from there on requested changes. And we may, I like the idea of having a committee also to kind of look over it, but if not, I guess we could just discuss it at the next workshop, because I don't know.
Well,
that
we
we'll
had a
have
safety
anything.
committee
I'd rather just.
once before, and,
The board is.
there wasn't nothing to do, because
We need to get
he
people on
was
committee
the
with
one helping us with that
Just
too.
right one up, it's his help and
And testing.
Yeah, he's gonna advise us.
Yes.
you can get it on the agenda.
Yes,
They're the
Yes.
ones that are basically gonna tell you what they do
Yeah.
for
Then
that.
you can put it
Yeah.
on the
And that's a good
agenda for
idea
next
to
meeting.
go to call the impact.
do you
Does
want to
it-
try to put it on the agenda?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be an ordinance, so it'd take 2 readings, and we could, alter anything.
Second.
Second reading?
yeah.
Okay.
I'm done.
That's a good idea, Joe. Jim?
And that's what I was told by the police chief, that, I don't know if it was this police chief, or if it was the chief before him,
I mean,
that they backed us up, that's why we backed them up.
Yes, yeah.
And especially when one of ours got into trouble here a couple years ago,
Mhm.
and, he was doing what he was supposed to be doing.
The only thing I want to say on that, this is our town. They're going to have to do what we request them to do, not what they pick and choose.
Well, they,
We pay their wage. They don't live here, we pay
well,
their
yeah,
wage.
but
to
you
do
must
what she
remember how
tells
much,
them to do.
we're down a cop right now. And we don't have as many police officers, even when we have a full force. They have to have backup.
We can't afford
But
it.
that's.
We don't have the money.
That's right, that's why we have to have our backups from Kingsport and
Yeah.
Hopkins.
Takes her to make sure
If they're out of town on
And we
Chestnut,
back them.
we're not,
Especially when it's just one.
Well,
Couple
unless-
idiot.
to me, unless it's a
Are we done?
equipment loaded with ammunition and guns, you know.
just got a few things.
Easy for me.
I'll work on that.
Motion to adjourn?
Do it.